Hi there, my name's Jack and this is the Universal Router Guide, or the URG. Today this video is going to show you the features of the URG and also the scope of the URG. The first main feature of the URG we're going to look at is the workplace health and safety issue. Many woodworkers know that when using an inverted router table to cut a groove it is quite dangerous, but when you go to use the URG and the router, you use it in the conventional way, moving left to right with the jig and the router. The URG is set up for this particular router, but these guides are adjustable in this direction to cater for any size router. The URG has 3 self-centering vices, 1, 2 and 3, which clamp the timber perfectly on center. The self-centering vices allow the user to use any piece of timber from the size of 90 by 90 to 40 by 20, or even pieces that are longer than 1200, which are actually longer than the jig itself. The 3 self-centering vices have been set up like this so they can cater for all standard sizes of timber furniture. The first one we have to look at is the coffee table, which is 400 and goes into 2 of the self-centering vices. The second one we have here is the bedside table, which is 700mm long and gets safely fastened into 3 of the vices. The third piece we have here is for a dining room table, which is approximately 900mm long and fits perfectly into 3 of the vices. The following pre-machined piece of timber is for a bedside table. This is one of 4 legs, and in order to cut these legs equally, we need to place them in the vise like this. Hard up against this stop here, and using the self-centering vices, we tighten it up. Now in order to keep these legs equal, we need to work towards these stops, which are put in place to cut these grooves perfectly. The router moves left to right into the stop, creating the perfect groove. Left to right, perfect groove every time. The vices have been machined with steps in them to cater for varying sizes of timber. They are on a linear slide, so they are sturdy and allow for no play. The URG has been manufactured out of 10mm aluminium plate, so it has been engineered structurally sound. The reason behind these circles at the front is while the router is in use, no one can put their fingers inside the jig, and it also reduces the overall weight of the product. Before we move on to what the URG is capable of, the final feature of it is these 2 stops at either end of it. This allows the user to push the router right up to the side of it without the router cutter hitting the jig. The first demonstration I'm going to show you is just how simple it is to cut a 10mm groove the whole way along a piece of 90 by 90mm timber. I'm going to show you is a stop cut. Use the stop and put it in place where you want it. Tighten it up with the Allen key. When you purchase an URG, it will come with a 30-page booklet which explains and shows in more depth more projects that can be produced with the URG. The following project, the tissue box, is probably one of the first projects you'd make with the URG with junior students to get them confident using a router and using the URG. Here we are looking at the tissue box from the bottom. This is one of the original legs, which was manufactured from a long piece where a 12mm cutter was cut the whole way along the piece on adjacent sides and then cut by the students in 4 pieces to create the 4 legs for the tissue box. The following project is a small games table which is included in the booklet. This is the perfect U10 project as it can be incorporated into a 900mm long coffee table or a 700mm high bedside table. This offers the opportunity for the U10 student to choose any project they would like to make. Using this method of joining is much easier than using a dowel joint or a mortise and tenon joint. It allows the student to focus more on emerging technologies like the CNC Shark or the laser cutter. So using this method of joining and 2 beam clamps, the user is able to use the beam clamps on this point and glue their job together as a whole. This moves away from using multiple sash clamps and taking up lots of space in the workshop. This is your traditional end panel for a bedside table or a coffee table. It is held together at the top and bottom with mortise and tenon joints. Here is the end panel from before that has been pulled apart. Here are your traditional mortise and tenon joints. The URG and the router have been set up to cut 2 grooves into the end and the top rail. The end panel easily slides into the top rail, into the groove, and then into your mortise and tenon and into the side groove. The next project is box construction, which is explained very thoroughly in the booklet. Any box from a jewellery box to a blanket box can be constructed using this method. The basic principle behind this box construction is by using a piece of 40 by 40 mm timber and routing 2 grooves on adjacent sides 19 mm thick, like so. The following model shows a partially constructed box which shows how the base, the side and the end slide into the grooves, like so. The following joint is cut with a 28mm cutter and then a combination of a 12mm cutter. The joint slots in like this, allowing more surface area for the glue, and is a sturdy joint used in the construction of a coffee table or a dining room table. As the 28mm cutter leaves a radius here, in order to do this it is partnered up with a half round router cutter, which can then be used to cut twice, which fits directly into the groove. If you do not like this, you can chisel out a bit here and keep it square. Similar to the joint shown previously, a 19mm and an 8mm cut has been done, but this shows the difference with leaving one as a curve and keeping one square. Here we have the photo frame, which is very similar in construction to the box. We've got a 40mm piece of timber and we routed grooves on adjacent sides. An inlay was then put in to strengthen up the photo frame. The following project is a planter box. This can be easily modified into a stool, something much taller. Here we have the inside view of the knockdown fittings. There is no glue in the process of constructing this. Here we have a standard end panel, which has been constructed using the URG and a router. First we have routed a 19mm cut, and then we have routed a 12mm groove. So by now you've seen the features, you've seen what the URG is capable of. My dad has over 30 years experience in the teaching industry and he wishes he had created this back then. I know as a first year out school teacher, this equipment is going to be invaluable.